We should be live now. Okay. So, welcome to everyone who is seeing this. This is the second episode of PodcAds, my new podcast where I interview the maximum experts of Facebook ads, digital marketing, and advertising in general. Today, we are here with Aazar, which is the founder of one of my favorite newsletters about direct response marketing and also performance marketing in general, which is the performers. Before starting, I wanted to tell everyone who is following me on Instagram that I've released a new ebook about ChatGPT and how to use it for Facebook ads. But now we can start, and I would ask Aazar to introduce yourself to let them know let people know what are you doing, what are your projects, what is the performance about, and so let's go on.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me. I am currently the founder of a paid social mastermind group called The Performers, which has a newsletter in it called The Performers Newsletter. And basically, every week we try to analyze ads of the brands that are doing really well on social, and we try to understand, get inspired, and we share it with the people as well, as Paulo said. And other than that, I work as a paid social consultant for multiple companies, multiple direct to consumer companies. And yeah, I've been in the market for like 10 years doing B2B and now B2C for the last 5 years.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So, as you mentioned that in your newsletter, there's like some kind of inspiration of what is working right now. I would come to the first question to you, which is what are you seeing it's working right now, both from your newsletter point of view, because I guess you are seeing like the top performers and you have an idea of what is working, but also from your personal experience as you are also a consultant, what is working for you, for your projects, for the brands you're working with. So let's have like this kind of discussion and let's see if you are aligned and if there's something to like know from each other.
Yeah. So I think the one thing that is working really well at the moment, anybody who's into paid social, is single image ads that really pop. I think the whole idea of an ad is to give that one idea to the customer, or prospect customer actually, to to resonate with them actually. And so it can be a video, it can be carousel, it could be image, but images are doing really well. And the reason why images are doing really well is because it just conveys the idea really well. You have some good copywriting and it works. And it's cheapest, it's easiest to make, it doesn't cost you a lot of money, and it just works. And so that's like a single image ad that really pop works. I'm happy to share in the show notes like my inspiration board, where I shared all these examples as well, that you can actually see
That's
what
great.
single image ads actually mean. You can also put it in your video as well. I know you do live videos, it's not recorded, so like, but at least you can see it
Yeah,
in the.
definitely, definitely.
That's like one thing, as Facebook ads is working really well. The other thing is like I've been really seeing is that a lot of brands are using UGC videos, and UGC is a new trend, right? But I think the videos that work really well is authentic customer stories. If a customer has a proper transformation, those videos do work really well. It means that the customer has gone through the product, they've tried it, and they've seen the difference, they show the transformation, and that is just like transformation is like everybody's going after. And if you can show that through your customer journey, that works really well with slight hook. And I think you can engineer the hook, but the story can still be the same, right? And so it's just the
Yeah.
visual hook. The third thing that I can tell you that is working really well at the moment is longer videos. So most brands are like
Okay.
30 seconds videos, 45-second videos to grab attention. But I think what works really well in the video is longer videos, teaching, educating people. So I've just recently ran like a couple of educational ads, like 3 secrets I can share about baby development, and then you share those 3 secrets, and it's usually longer than 1 minute. And so the longer the videos people watch, the longer they become fan of you, the longer they stay in with you, and then they try to see the product and they convert. So these are like three different different styles and formats of the ads that are working really well that you should definitely test.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So to sum up, you said that the static images are working very well, also because from an operational point of view, because it's cheaper, it's faster, it's more scalable than like making two videos. It's way longer, a longer process than making two photos, two static images. Another
Yeah.
reason why it is working, as you said, is because it must resonate with the audience. So you must make like a copy which talks to the audience, talks to like familiar situations, knowing that you know their pain, you know what they are facing right now, and how your product can solve that. And also, I would add, which is something that Barry said. I don't know if you are following Barry Hot on Twitter. And Barry says that static images may work very well right now because actually the content we are seeing mostly on social media are videos. So a static image is the best way, maybe right now in 2023, to like stand out and see and have like an impact on your customers. The second one, which you mentioned, are like the UGC, but more like true, because we are seeing that UGC are actually user generated content, which should be content generated by users, but like users became influencers. That you in the UGC term became like influencers or people who are specialized in making that for the like for the brand, which is something that can maybe stop people thinking that that's authentic. They don't know what is the actual transformation because maybe even the creators don't know what the product actually does. If I understood well. And the third one that you mentioned is like the VSL, so like the video sales letters, which are like longer videos, not only for sales, but even for an educational point of view. Because as you said, the more they watch, the more they will be like likely to purchase your product. They will like have a familiarity with your product, which is something we shouldn't take for granted.
Yeah.
And also because maybe I don't remember if it was like in the performers I saw these kind of examples, which like there were videos like for 30 minutes videos on Facebook ads, and also there was like great copywriting. So the copy here is crucial, is even more crucial because it must be taught for a direct response marketing point of view, as the video has a totally different scope, which is not something bad, of course, but you should go straight forward to the point, maybe in the copy if the video doesn't do that, which is something that can work from what I've seen and from what I remember from the performers.
Yeah, that was a very unique case I actually came into, and
Mhm.
I'm happy to try. I'm gonna give you some feedback at some point, but the thing is, the product itself is called Mind. Well, it's like crazy. It's about mind. They actually hit your self-actualization level. You know the Maslow's hierarchy. They hit your self-actualization. You know you will get elevated to become somebody even better than yourself.
Yeah.
And he in the whole video, they're just teaching you the method. They're teaching you how it works. They're teaching you the story. How can it help you to become a transformative person, and how can you take control of your mind and become a powerful person. Obviously people want to try it, and it's like not a cheap product, like $400 product for the entire month of
Yeah.
membership. So it's like you want to spend time to actually get it and to really understand it. And think about this way. I think this is something Barry also said a couple of days ago as well. He said
Mhm.
like instead of creating ads, create good content. People are on social for
Yeah.
creating watching good content. And if you create a content that's such a hooky story, the video itself, the ad, it says um the founder said it like he's the guy with the broken brain, and like, okay, tell
Mhm.
me more, like what does it mean by broken brain, right? And so it just kind of makes sense to actually know about this person's story. You get personally hooked in the hero's journey, right? He was like
Yeah.
not able to read and learn properly. He taught himself different things, and he figured out a method that can help him, that eventually helped, and he had it. So you get emotionally involved, and then eventually like such kind of ads actually work really well when you have like a story clear. And the founder itself in the letter is saying that, if you find this helpful, tell us your story. Other people want to know, people get inspired from you. It's like he's creating a paid loop already inside the ad that say, if this happens, let us know. That's like crazy. So like, I mean, that's why I love Mind Valley as their ads, because they teach really good stuff in the ad already, that already this person convinced when they watched the entire video. I tried the video. I did not watch 40 minutes video. I started first 5 minutes. I'm like,
Mhm.
I was hooked. I could not unhook myself because
Wow.
I was writing a newsletter and I'm like, should I waste my 40 minutes? Should I write my newsletter?
It worked on you also.
Yeah.
That sounds great. So, from what you said, so you are seeing like successful brands who are using this kind of content, and that's okay. But also, the hardest part for our work maybe is to know what is working, like what is replicable and what is not. So, what is like the way you come up with new inspirations, new ideas for your creatives? How do you understand which of the like the elements you see in working on big brands or like brands crushing Facebook ads? How do you understand what is like applicable for your brand, for the brands you're working with, and what is not?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So most paid marketers, what I see they do is they look at what other influencers are telling which ads are working, and then they try to
Mhm.
replicate it. I was that guy too. I still
Yeah.
do that sometimes. But the way actually to really figure out which ads to run is, first, if you already get an ad account that has tried a lot of things and you know what worked, what didn't work, you already can start from there. Then you can look at the
Mhm.
social. You can see organic social, what videos were work, what in images work. So you can actually see like what organic social of the client work. But the most important thing that most people, most marketers, most agencies are not willing to do is they ask you a ton of questions and you have to fill all those questions out, but they don't want to figure it out for you. They will get all the content from you and they'll try to create ads from there. And so
Mhm.
what I do is actually I talk to customers. I watch user recording, I watch videos, I
Mhm.
mine reviews, and I think that's where I get most of the ideas from, because I actually see somebody speaking on the other side of the screen why they really love this product. I say, okay, can we have more of these kind of customers? So most of my ideas come from the customers and reviews and interviews and yeah, and then at some point what I do is like, so the way I now create ideas, like I just look at my newsletter, I see what like the format that great brand I just taught
Yeah.
people, and I see, okay, can we use that format for my customer through the user research interviews, and like we can create that. So now like I'm working with a baby product, which is like kind of a mobile app for kids activities development, and I
Okay.
just met a UGC creator who's actually our customer, and so
Okay.
she used the product for her child, and she's now 4 years old, and it's the product is for 0 to 12 months. So she said like my child was pre-born, and I actually used the product to actually help him so get socially, physically,
Yeah.
cognitively grow. And so actually I've used the product, so I can actually show the authentic customer story through this UGC video girl, and I'll actually make it work. So the idea came from Noom that I just recently evaluated. Like, hey, authentic customer store testimonial, and I have a UGC creator who is actually a
Yeah.
customer. Perfect blend, and I think that's where my most of the ideas come from. It's like, okay, can I have more customers telling us what to do? I think most of the time, if you keep doing interviews, so this is what I made a process. So I'm actually meeting our customers once a week, and
Mhm.
one new customer every week. Just like keep refreshing my ideas. Okay, what the customer says, like asking them from different questions, different angles to kind of find what would work.
That's great. And how do you like come up with new questions to ask the customers? Do you do like post surveys or post purchase surveys, or like any kind of you start and you continue diving deeper into the reviews, maybe in the comments? How do you come up with like how do you stay updated about your customers' situation?
Yeah, so basically asking what kind of questions I ask, and like how do I have a bank of questions that I usually ask. Sometimes I say, okay, tell me why other people are missing out if they don't try your product? It's like not a normal question. Usually say, why would
Mhm.
you recommend it? I say, why would they are missing out? It's like even a bigger reason. So I double down on the emotional aspect and find out that's one. So I'm like, there's another one. What changed your mind about this product category? Okay, this is a meta level question, right? Okay, what changed your mind? Like, for example, you tried, I don't know, like another baby app that did not work for you, and this baby app for you. What
Yeah.
changed your mind, right? So I think it's all about understanding the needs, the triggers, the insights from customers, and asking them unique questions that get them to the next stage. And I think most people are not able to ask those questions uniquely. Create a bank of questions that you find somewhere on the internet and like keep asking them. And don't just do user research interviews. Like try to like ask them funny questions, ask them a way to deeply understand them, like okay, and one way is to understand their story, like just asking them more whys, and that's where you also get more ideas as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. From my point of view, I also noticed that the comment section of your ads are very like a gold mine for marketers to come up with new ideas. For example, I was promoting I was doing Facebook ads for an air gel brand here in Italy, and I saw a comment of a guy who made shooted a photo of the unboxing like of the new air gel, and the people asked him, "Oh, how is this product? I'm seeing this ad and I saw you're purchasing it. How is that?" In the comments, and they said like, "Ah, yeah, that's great. It doesn't stick. It's like more versatile. It's 100% worth it." So I came up with actually an idea, which was first of all a feedback. So if I wanted to create like an ad which was a feedback, I could like copy paste this comment into that and turn it into a creative which is for testimonials. The second one is like the UGC, as you said, that can be two very connected things, which is actually a shooted photo of a product which has arrived and shoot with a phone, also low quality phone, which is actually something that can work because it feels authentic, and authenticity is what people are looking for in social media, most of all in 2023, where we are like surrounded by perfect shots, perfect videos, and we don't want that thing to happen again. We are like we can like interrupt the pattern of a perfect video, perfect photo, perfect video, ugly ad, which is something which you for sure know about if you follow Barry. Also, doesn't mean that the ad must be ugly itself. It means that it should be the most authentic possible, and like it is what is working right now from my experience. And you can get all these informations, as you said, from post-purchase surveys, from comments, from like also the questions that people make in your like chatbot, in your messenger direct messages and so on. There's a lot to dive in, also from the reviews we know from competitors, 1-star reviews, to understand if you have some strengths that you can leverage on to differentiate from your competitors, or like 5-star reviews to understand what people are searching for and what people are satisfied for, also from the products of your competitors. And if you have like that features, you can also use those for like for your ads, because this is what people are searching for, and the ads must be thought, as you said at the beginning, must resonate with your audience. The ads must resonate with your audience. So if you are able to take those informations to turn them into an ad for your product, that's like how you come up with new ideas. And I think we are aligned from this point of view. I don't know if you had something to add from this.
Yeah, so the only thing is like I think you guys are very nice Italian customers. I don't know. My Facebook ads is just shitting our ads like stop this, stop stealing, this is a scam. The product is called so like for me, like most of the comments are negative. I don't know what you get out of it. Like with my comment, there was one comment that was interesting. It was like, oh wait. So I said there's sudden death syndrome, and I said okay, sudden death syndrome could be happening also because of baby's head control. And somebody said, oh, this is
Okay.
not true. This is not true. And So that was interesting. But in general, we get like all the bitchy customers, bitchy prospects who are not clicking on the ad, not clicking on the landing page, just commenting just because it
Okay.
interrupted their pattern. So you have nice Italian users, and that's what I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's also because you are like advertising a digital product, which is something that could scare also Italian people. So, no surprise about digital products being so as scams, as loss of time, and something like that. So,
Yeah.
from that, yeah, yeah, sorry.
No, no, probably you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So and that here comes like my third question about like you have all the creatives, you maybe also know which kind of creatives are working, like you want to test UGCs, you want to test testimonials, you want to test static images with a big claim, with a big copy, but how do you actually come up with the perfect structure for you? What is working right now for you from a structure point of view? So like you have a testing campaign, a scale campaign, or you have like, how do you structure your ads? How do you decide which ad set to put, how many ads, if you differentiate videos and photos? There's a lot of confusion on that. I also have like I think I found my perfect balance, but it's always interesting to know how marketers, which are like best performing, how do marketers are moving from this point of view.
So basically, the structure is very simple. Every week, I have an experiment campaign and I have main campaign. And experiment
Hmm.
campaign, I'm just testing new ads, and if the ads are winning, I'm moving to the main campaign. And the way I
Okay.
do is like I start whenever it's a new client, I start with the winning ads, the ads that are already working, and with
Yeah.
those winning ads, I just recreate it. And from this recreated winning ads, what I do is I just like try to add more and more winning ads into the other main campaign, and I
Yeah.
keep testing it. So I test like single image ads, and then I test like UGC ads. I test like whatever already is working, and then just undo it. And I have like at least 25 ad ideas that I already have to run and test. I have to founder ad, I have this ad, that. I like so all this proven formula. As I said, like I have the huge bunch of those, and then I test it. So and once I test it, then I know what is working and move them to the main campaign. Nothing crazy, just like first see what. So as I said, some accounts have I've seen it like per couple of times. Just a single image ad is working really well. So you just do more of single image ads. Some accounts require a lot of efforts, which you have to test a lot. But some of the
Yeah.
times, and this is something I can tell you, is that most people don't spend enough time on message testing. What I mean is
Hmm.
that, sure, you know what ad maybe works without when you join the account, right? But what you need to know is what deeply resonates. That's what you don't know. You found something from the customer review, you put it up and test it. What you do is you try to have a one single image and have multiple headlines and test which headlines are working. Once you know which headlines are working, then you double down on like making the ad better, single image ad better with the headline. And then you make the same message with the UGC. And then you make the same message with the carousel. You can make the same message with the green screen. And then you figure out which format is working and then you double down on the messaging. I think that's the most important thing that most people don't get into is like what message deeply resonates and like find that one ad that can scale over like 1 million, 2 million. That's what most people don't do, and I think that we should do that more often.
Yeah, and also what you say is like something that I see very, very often. People thinking that like the ads must be constantly renewed, constantly refreshed, which actually is not always true, because you can also have one winning ad which spends millions of your budgets, also like more than 50% of your total budget, and that campaign, that ad can win like forever. And you don't need like to have necessarily a great creative refresh, but you can also find what is the winning like combination. And then actually, okay, you can scale, you can test different things to understand if you can even more scaling. But actually, if you found the winning ad, let it run, let it let it like spend your budget, because it means that it can, that can, and it can also work for months, years maybe. And what I'm asking you, so about your method is like you test a static image, for example, be it a testimonial, be it a review, be it a UGC. You start with statics and you test like the headline. You mean like the headline we see on Facebook ads, or you mean like you test something in the creative, adding an headline or a claim into the creative. What is like your method?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question, to be honest. But like, I don't have a specific way. I think with the headline, it's a very tactical question you're asking, and it works differently for different clients. But what I try to do with the headline is to try to answer I would say, the objection in the headline.
Okay.
Either I reduce the friction or increase the motivation. Reducing the friction is like by adding an objection, like in the headline, like, oh, it's like money back guarantee, 30-day free refund, cancel,
Okay.
no credit card required. And sometimes I'm just using the reviews. I think a lot of brands use reviews, like, they have 5 star in there to like
Yeah.
increase trust and all that. So I've not tested this enough to tell you like, okay, this one works, but like usually headlines should still focus on the same idea of what your ad is all about. So if I have nothing, then I use this objection and reduce friction or increase motivation, or I just use a headline that actually talks about the ad. And the way to work with the headline is like, the way Charlie does it really good, 3-2-2-2 with the dynamic ads formula.
Yeah.
um, I've not done that. What I do is, once I figure out like which ad is working, I just rework that ad and add multiple headlines and test which headline is winning, and just use that headline
Okay.
over and over again. And I don't try to reinvent the wheel. I just keep using the same headline.
Sounds great. Sounds great. We have like a similar way of doing, because I start also with static images. I use like a big claim in the ad, and once I find, like I found for that brand I was talking to you about before, I found like the winning claim. When I started using it also in the copy of different ads, like I saw that big impact, which is something that comes down to what you said, what is resonating to your audience. And it doesn't mean if it's in the headline, in the image, in the video, in the copy. It actually is the way of like the way you resonate with your audience, the way you talk to your audience, which makes a difference. But regardless if it's on like the creative, the headline, on the copy, people want to hear that. If they read that, they may be more likely to like purchase your product and so on. And for coming back like to your structure, which is like testing and the experiment campaign and the scaling campaign, how do you two questions, how do you understand when it's time to move from the experiment to the scaling? Because
Oh
people
yeah,
may think,
that's a good question. As soon as I see like more than 10-20 conversions happening, I just move them to the main campaign. I see the CAC is down. I don't wait for
"Mhm,
15 conversions. I just like, okay, this is working. I wait for 1 week maximum.
okay,
Usually, I've actually done that. So internally in performers, we pick one topic per month and we discuss this in detail. So we did this
okay,
grading testing. So one thing that inside that I found from the performance mastermind group was like, people usually do like 15-20 conversions and they move that to the main campaign. They still keep running the ads and they turn it off after 2-3 weeks. Uh,
okay,
and if the ad is not performing, they also turn it off after 2-3 weeks. What I do is I just turn it
okay.
off after a week, and I don't know if that ad is not working. I'm not giving more budget to it, and I'm just okay, move on.
Okay, sounds great. So also, if you are having good results, you duplicate it and let it run also on the
I don't
experiment,
duplicate.
or
I don't duplicate it.
yeah, post IDs, of course,
Post ID.
post IDs. Okay, and also you keep them running at the same time, or just you like turn it
I
off
keep
on the
running at the same
experiment?
time. Yeah, yeah, I keep running
Oh,
them.
okay, that's
And
interesting.
and, and we
Okay.
eventually turn one of them. Once I know that the main campaign is getting traction again, I just turn them on the experiment campaign.
Okay, sounds interesting. But from my experience, when I like run two same post IDs on the experiment and the scaling, I saw that like results were messing up for both. So I
Oh,
decided, okay, yeah, really, because maybe also because I think maybe Facebook doesn't know how to attribute the conversion as they are the same post ID, which in which ad I attribute the conversion to this or to this. Maybe
is it
that's the
different
reason.
campaign? Is it a different campaign
Yeah,
altogether?
of course. Yeah,
I
no, no.
never had this problem. Maybe my conversion point is too low. Like I usually try to do leads and not purchase, so maybe
Okay,
that could be the reason. But
okay,
I did not have it. As I said, like
okay.
Facebook is like a big elephant. Everybody tries to touch it on their own way and figure out what is that.
Yeah, yeah. And the second question which I had is, how do you decide how to like differentiate your ad sets? Do you like use emotional angles, or you test concepts on each ad set?
Concept.
How do you? Okay, that's
Concept.
great.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
like
the way I do is
example.
like, okay, I have single image ads. I today just turned it on for like it's the same headlines for 5 images, and they are two different ad set. Ad set one is like same headline, but mom is playing with the kid in the yoga class, and the other one is the same headlines, but mom is actually playing the game, playing with the kid in the ballet while doing ballet. Same different concepts, same headline. That's like one. The other one is like you actually try like you don't know what works deep. So this is like you can actually think about like do you want to do problem based? Do you want to do exaggeration
Okay,
based? Do you want to do desire based, outcome based? So like they're all different concepts as well. You can see in which concept works.
okay, sounds interesting. Okay, so you like test different concepts, which is like UGCs, or like not necessarily the type of content, but maybe also the like the structure of your ads, maybe problem, agitate, solution, testimonials, that kind of concepts. Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, and from the point of view of like your newsletter, are you also advertising your newsletter, or you what are you seeing from a newsletter point of view if you are making ads on it? How what is working right now? I was curious about.
Yeah, so Facebook is quite expensive for the newsletter. I'm currently
Okay.
not trying to grow it really fast. I have a sponsor already who's paid for like 3 months, so I can reuse that money and put it in ads. So I tested like a couple of ads on Facebook and they did not work really well. Apparently, none of the marketing newsletters are actually doing good in terms of Facebook ads. There's only one guy I know who's doing really well. Um, so what I can tell you is that I have not figured out an angle and a message that is like going to hit with my audience. I think a lot of people, especially on Facebook, I see all the time like agency ads. Oh, this is my best method using VSL to convert into an agent like a customer. But like I've not done that. So I tried meme ads. Meme ads were the best ones, but I have not tried enough. And I actually with the performers, um, I think the product itself, the newsletter itself has a differentiation, but I think it's not like I need to know what's the end outcome for people. What do they do with the newsletter? And once I know that, then I think I can make great ads. Right now, I'm just trying to like I create performers for me. So I like okay, I want to get inspired. I want to sit down, force myself to learn because nobody else in the world can actually teach me more stuff about Facebook. There are not enough tactics out there. So how do I learn? I learn through writing a newsletter for myself and for my audience, and then figure it out from there onwards.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And how do you come up with like how do you pick the best? How do you find the best performers? The best performing ads, the best performing DTC brands? Do you have like a list of brands to check constantly to find new inspirations, or you like see what's on your feed? How do you come up like with picking the best performers?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So I usually pick only the brands I'm personally interested in, and I've heard them a lot. They're like in my back of my mind. But what I can tell you from my perspective is that I pick ads. Yeah, so something that is I'm personal. So, for example, Noom, it was something I was personally interested in last week that I released. because Noom is like kind of a product that is very similar to my old client that was in also an app based, and so I wanted to like really understand Noom's ads.
Hmm.
And so I just try to figure out what I'm interested in. Either the brand is really popular and everybody's talking about it. So for example, if I don't have any idea, I just go to Nick Sharma's client and I say, okay, which client is promoting, and I just actually use that.
Okay.
So that's the also another way to think about it as well. And but like usually like there's so many B2C darlings that everybody loves. It just comes up with it. So and what I've tried to do is like right now is like I'm not just writing the newsletter as like evaluating all the ads. Um, but what I'm also doing is like sharing the tactics as well. So like there are three different like ways to share the content. One is like my experience. The other is the way you doing it right now, like sharing other people's experience in the newsletter, and the third one is actually evaluating the ads. So like either give them tactics to help them make more money, or give them ideas to make more money.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. So to sum up all the everything we have been talking about so far, like the best performing concepts. So what is working right now in Facebook ads is like UGCs, making them as much authentic as possible, possibly having like real users and not paid creators. Also from statics, which is something we both recommend everyone to start with, both from a scalable point of view and also from a budget point of view, which is most effective. What is actually the process to coming up with new ideas is like taking into inspirations. You can also subscribe to the Performers, which is a newsletter I personally recommend, because I always find really great inspirations from that. Azar, as we had the chance to talk, is like finding the best performance for real, the best ads that is in the DTC world right now, and you can try like different concepts if those concepts you think that is applicable to your e-commerce, to your DTC brand, to your like lead generation campaign, then test it and try to understand from the existing ads what is actually working, what is the element that is resonating with your audience, and try to duplicate it. Try to like apply that same principle to many other ads, maybe also different concepts, which is coming from static ads to UGCs, and also understanding which are like the elements that are scalable for your account, so for your business. From a structure instead point of view, we talked about like having an experiment campaign and a scaling campaign. Question: do you run retargeting? Are you having success with that, or you stopped like?
So my products, a couple of products are like really high average contract value, which is like $3,500. So I was not believing in retargeting, but somehow the retargeting is like doing its job by sending people like keeping on top of their mind. And since the product, like sure, D2C brand don't need to run retargeting. You have like Advantage Plus ads, you can run that in general and keep doing that. But for me, it's like my average contract value is too high. So I need to keep in mind and keep having more touch points. So that kind of is working. So like, but I don't do it for all brands. I only do it for brands where like the average contract value is too high.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I totally agree with some brands, like it's still worth it. Maybe if you have also specific messages, a specific funnel that you are sure that is working. For some brands instead, maybe the high ticket ones, or products which are a little bit more expensive, is better to have, like as you said, multiple touch points, be it with different paid media channels, or be it with like testing horizontally your ads on Facebook ads. But actually, it's something that you, as always, you need to test. You need to see if it is working for you and for your brand, and if it is not. So. that's what we actually recommend. So to come back to what we were saying about the structure, you have like an experiment campaign and a scaling campaign. In the experiment campaign, once you find in the first week like of life of a specific ad run, which is run into a specific ad set taught for concepts, um, you like use the post ID to like move it to the scaling campaign, keeping them run at the same time until one of the two, I suppose, stops performing as it was doing before. So,
Yeah.
which is this is really really insightful. I really thank you for your time, and I invite you to like advertise yourself right now, talking about what you do, to bring us to make an action. And if you have any link that I can include in like the description of this post, which
Yeah,
will be
so I
published
think
on.
you should definitely check out blog.theperformers.io where I shared the newsletter. And if you are a media buyer watching this video and you think that I know a little bit about paid marketing, I absolutely had no idea until I really started this community. I've leveled up since then. I would highly recommend to check out the performers.io, the paid mastermind group. It's not a lot of money, just 29 euros per month, but like imagine like you have a question in your mind and where do you go ask. There are like 50 plus of us are in the group or are trying to help you out, so check out the performers.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So, Azar, as always, I thank you very much for your time. Also, thanks to everyone who will listen to this podcast, which is the second episode of PodcAds, in which I interview the top performers of direct response marketing in 2023 and onwards. So thank you very much, Azar. See you. I will talk to you later on Twitter, and let's stay in touch.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Thank you too. Bye.
Bye.